Alrighty, what is your name and who are you?
Jacob Holmes. I'm the athletic director at the Canterbury School in DeSoto, Texas.
Alrighty. What have you done prior to taking this position that made you qualified for this leadership role?
I've been an athletic director at a previous school called Waxahachie Preparatory Academy. Coached and assistant coach at Southwestern Assembly's of God University. Then I did some youth ministry full time as well. I'm in charge of everything in that area at Waxahachie Bible Church.
Alrighty. What has been the biggest challenge of being a young leader?
I'd say in the field that I've worked in is all education of some type. That is being a parent, not being a parent at first, and dealing with parents. So as we're only being maybe 4 or 5 years older than some of the seniors when I first started, caused a lot of issues where parents didn't know, really kind of questioned my maturity and value system. It's actually gotten easier as I've gotten older now that I'm a father and have a child, and I can give specific details. But for me, the biggest thing I was able to do was to talk about why I believe certain things because of my theological viewpoints or my faith that caused me to be able to be a leader with young people and explain that to parents. I think that helped out early on whenever I was really young. So
That's really good. What is your strategy for making sure that people under your leadership are doing their jobs to a satisfactory level, like in your athletics director?
I would say that the number one key factor in that is just the interview process. I got a good friend, Philip Brown, the owner of Chick-fil-A, and I asked him about that. And they interview people, 7 times to get a cashier job at Chick-fil-A, but they always have great customer service and great things. And so kind of, he's a friend of mine. I kind of really stole that mentality from him of saying, okay, I'm going to meet with someone, interview, make sure they understand what I expect, and really ask them a lot of scenario questions. And so that way they know what they're getting into beforehand, and so that way they're able to understand the standards that are met, that need to be met, or they won't be a good fit. So that's probably the biggest thing, is just making sure they're prepared before they actually take the job. So
That's really interesting. How do you maintain, manage your time with all the requirements of your position?
I would say that's probably the hardest thing as a leader, running the entire athletics program and having to meet with parents about, little Jimmy and Johnny getting in a fight about something, arguing about something, somebody hurt somebody's feelings, but also making sure the refs are taken care of, and all the coaching staff, and trying to get excellence out of everything is what's the hardest thing, is to manage that. And so the biggest thing is, once again, I would say that delegation amongst the things that can be delegated. There are things that cannot. There are things that, this parent has to talk to me. They're like, I've got to talk to Coach Holmes as our athletic director, period. They want to, well, I'm going to have to take that as a priority. Whereas if someone says, well, I just kind of want to know some information about middle school basketball, well, then I have to send my middle school coach to them, because it's not that I don't want to, I just don't literally have the time. So making sure how to delegate things that can be delegated.
Yeah, that's good. What qualities do you find are the most important in a successful leader, and how are you working to strengthen those qualities in yourself?
So the most important qualities, I think, probably one of the most, is you can't ask of any person or any employee or any student that you coach or anything, ask of them of something that you want to do. I think that they will definitely be able to see that if you're not willing to. And so, for me, it's, I try to step in and say, I'm sorry you have to deal with this, but this is what I've done in the past. So that trait in itself, to say, I'm willing to do whatever it takes and help you, I think that allows people to see, okay, this person's, although they're my superior, they're actually looking out for me, they're willing to help me in any way, and I think that employees really respond better to that. So I think that's the number one thing. So.
Yeah. And then the second part of that question is, how are you working to strengthen those qualities in yourself?
The hardest thing, I would say, is doing that, knowing that mentality. I did not come up with it at all whatsoever. It's a servant leadership. It's the whole idea is basically the CEO, or in the world of business and finance or things, is that it's from the CEO is the bottom, Servant leadership basically is Christ willing to wash the feet of his disciples. And so that's the continual struggle, I think, for a leader is, and which ways can I wash their feet? And show them how to be a servant, but also be able to give them examples of servant leadership. And so that for me is always trying to find different aspects and ways that I can help them out by serving them. And what it ends up doing is instilling that mentality into their work and into everything that they're doing. So
It's really good. What are your goals for the athletic department at Canterbury moving forward?
well, there's some major things that need to change with the growth and development. We need to add certain sports. Been blessed with success there. We've had all teams going to the playoffs, winning the state championship last year, and a state runner-up as well. On that, got a student about to sign with Duke University on Thursday, so that's awesome. But more importantly, I think the goals that we want to see are developing student athletes that can be successful as student athletes in college and come back and represent the school well.
That's good. What are some kind of like practical things that you're planning to make sure that you can reach those goals?
Some things we're doing is continuing to work alongside with teachers and trying to actually incorporate more, it's clearer communication with all the coaching staff and all the teachers. And so that way it's a team working together to get the most out of each one of these students. Instead of coach just saying, well, this individual is ineligible, they can't help me win, and a teacher saying, well, all they care about is sports, they don't care about education. We're trying to meet with our staff and say, okay, this student's struggling here, how can we get them to the next level in this area? And that's for all aspects, for athletics, academics, and their personal life as well.
Well, that's really good. I appreciate your time.
No problem.
Thanks for meeting with me.
No problem.
Life really easy. Thank you.
All right.